right. And Bree, thank you for coming on in this wonderful little filler episode, or throwback episode if we want to be cool about it.
Why not both?
So, Bree, what is on our plate today? We were talking earlier about what we should do for this episode, and we were talking about having a little bit of a throwback episode.
Right.
And maybe even talking about some cool things that Refold's been doing, behind the scenes, things going on in the community. So what's on our plate? I'll let you lead.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So first of all, my name's Bree, I guess. I work at Refold. I write emails. I do social media. I do that kind of stuff. And what's on our plate? Well, we're about to send out our newsletter, so I thought we could give a little sneak peek to our podcast audience and talk about some of the things that we've been doing. So let me take a look. Here's a big one. We just released stage 4 publicly.
That's true. We did just publicly release stage 4.
Yeah, we just publicly released it. That's pretty cool.
It's cool. It was a long time overdue. So I'm glad that it's out.
I mean, it's been a long time in the making. It's been beta tested by Patreons for a while.
Yeah, it's on a Notion page. It would be cooler if we're part of the actual site.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot more effort, right? But at least it's out there, and you can go to our website right now and go to the roadmap and click on stage 4. And so just to kind of give some background for people who maybe aren't familiar with the roadmap, we have different stages of learning. Stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 is where the roadmap previously ended. And that's like basic fluency. But if your goal is to move beyond basic fluency, we didn't have a concrete guide written for that was publicly available.
It has been so long since I've looked at the roadmap on the website. So internally with clients, we actually use a different roadmap. And stage 2C is defined as having about 5,000 unique words. So like go, goes, going, went would all be one word.
Right.
And it's a reading heavy approach. So the internal roadmap assumes that you're going to be like using comics, books, subtitles to get that vocab. And then stage 3 on the internal roadmap is all about catching up your listening. So I actually am very out of touch with what's on the website because I mostly work with clients. So I've been using the internal roadmap. Right. And I know that Ethan is supposed to be starting a blog series soon.
He is.
Sort of like a Refold patch notes blog, I think. If you've ever played a video game or an MMO, he's going to talk about things that we have learned from our 2 years of coaching now at this point. Has it been 2 years?
Has it?
Feels like it's been.
I think so. That's crazy. It feels like just yesterday.
Yeah. So he's going to be releasing a series of patch notes in the form of long form blogs that people can read. But in the meantime, stage 4 is now active and live. And that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And I feel like we've gotten some pretty good feedback about it as well. It's basically everything about reaching native-like fluency. So what do you need to do to take your pretty good target language abilities to like super amazing native-like? And it also has 2 tracks, I think, the stage 4 guide. It has the, I don't know what it's called exactly, but there's like the perfectionist one where you want to sound exactly like a native speaker. Then there's like the other one that's like a little bit less intense depending on what your goals are. And I really like how it differentiates those 2 paths for people who maybe don't care as much about a native like accent and they prefer more to sound educated, and that's like their main goal. So I think there's a little something for everybody in it, and it's really cool that it's out there. And yeah, the changes to the roadmap, the internal one versus the external one, the series of blog posts that Ethan's going to be doing is going to be giving some insight on what those differences are, to kind of help people decide how they want to learn their language, So it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm excited to see everybody's response to stage 4, and I can leave that in the description below this podcast too.
Do we have stage 4 translated into Spanish yet?
I don't know.
If not, we should talk to Zdena.
Yeah, we should do that.
It's a lovely Czech name for a Peruvian person, by the way. Actual name, Zdena is the name.
Yeah.
She does all of our translations. She's sort of like our in-house.
She's amazing.
And we should talk to her about translating that if it's not translated, because
we should.
It definitely should be. Because
we should.
Really
everything else is.
Well, it's surprising because like 60% of our traffic is from Spanish speakers, something really high like that. And a lot of people in the Refold community who are not active on the Spanish or the English servers tend to forget that, you know, because they don't see it. I see it. You see it if you ever sign into HubSpot and you look at the tickets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it.
A lot of them are going to be in Spanish,
Yeah.
So definitely, if it's not translated yet, it should be. And speaking of translations, we got a new
I was going to say, that's a language supported on the roadmap, German. Yes. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. So we have a translation team. Oh, lots of volunteers translating
it's
the guide.
Volunteer translations.
Yes.
Team,
volunteer translations, but like in tons of languages. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an ongoing project, by the way. And if you do want to volunteer, reach out to somebody who is a Refold admin, me, Bree, Jorge Baboy on Discord. And we have essentially community done translations and then community done like proofreading. And we just got the German one finalized. The German one is weird because it's been sitting almost translated for like 2 years. Home stretch, that home stretch was what we were waiting on, and we finally got it done, I think like last week.
Wow, that's awesome.
And unlike the other guides where only the simplified roadmap is translated, we actually do have a 100% fully translated original roadmap, like the really, really long form roadmap that the site originally had. Like that's how long we've had translators working on it. Like they fully translated the long form, and we didn't put it on the site because we don't have a way to localize the long form roadmap. And then we're like, hey guys, new roadmap. This is the simplified version. And we had it almost translated, and it finally got translated. We've been sitting on it for like 2 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome.
There are a whole bunch
it's available on the website.
So, there are a whole bunch of languages.
Spanish, Portuguese, English, obviously. Now German, and then there are a few more languages in the works too. That we have.
There's Polish. And Polish is done, but it needs to be proofread and quality controlled. We released the Polish version a while back, and then we had to walk that back because the Polish team was very small, and we didn't have as many eyes on it as we should have. So there were some grammatical mistakes, and these are natives, but when I say grammatical mistakes, I mean like punctuation and weird word choice and things.
Right.
So the Polish
everybody needs a proofreader, no matter how good you are.
The Polish one is all basically done, but it does need somebody to go over. So if you're interested, if you're a Polish native and you're interested in bringing Refold to people, definitely hit us up on Discord because it's basically done. It just needs a good proofreader and editor.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can email support at Refold.
Support at Refold. That's me. That's the same thing as reaching out to me on Discord.
It is.
Now, Bree, on a more personal note, you have been doing Spanish.
Yes.
And specifically, you've been working on your output, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
I just got to interview Mike from Glossica, so I know that you're doing Glossica.
Yes, I am doing Glossica.
Tell us, how are you doing Glossica? Are you doing the full thing? Are you like typing, or are you just speaking and reading?
So, depending on my mood and how hard I feel like it is, I'll do like the typing and the listening and like the full, I guess, onboarding of the new sentences. But for review, I'm just listening to the English and then trying to say the sentence as fast as I can in Spanish and then copying what the native speaker is saying. I'm finding it really helpful for...
Did you see the fly? This is the fly I've been venting to you about.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, he wants to be in the podcast.
He wants to be famous. Hi, Fly. What's up? How's it going? Everybody say hi in the comments. George's fly. Clayton's fly. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I've been using it with my daughter because she's 6,
And that's
almost
the cool
7.
part is that
Hmm.
you've got your daughter sort of chorusing Spanish.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Glossica again is that it's got bilingual audio, so you don't need to be literate.
No.
You know, I don't want to like throw your daughter under the bus, but like she's like semi-literate. Like she spells tree CHRE.
Yeah.
Like, it's close,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, and
She spells like a
because it's got
typical first grader. Yeah.
spells like a first grader, and because it's got the bilingual audio, she can like
Yeah.
sort of do her reps that she couldn't do.
What's cool though is she's actually kind of reading them a little bit. So she'll see the word and then try to guess what it is, and she'll get it like mostly right, and that's how I know that she's like relying on trying to read it. But because the phonics rules in Spanish are so much more simpler than English phonics, go figure, she's actually picking up on it pretty quickly as far as like seeing the word and then knowing what it is. But
Yeah,
I'm mostly
and
using it for priming. I'm not trying to use Glossica as like an output trainer or anything for her. It's
okay.
purely trying to help her prime new vocabulary so that she has like a little seed in her little mental dictionary, as you know.
And you've tried a lot with her over the years. You
Mhm.
did, I think, Super Memo for Kids at
Yeah,
one
that
point.
didn't. Yeah.
That didn't pan out. And then you
Mhm.
made an image version of the 1K decks at one point.
Well, let's not go too crazy. I made like 20 cards of it, and that was entirely
And
too.
then you gave up.
It was a lot. It was a lot of work, and it wasn't sticking, you know. And I had to redo the sentences so that they were more like kid appropriate. Not that they're bad, but it's like some of them are like, "Oh, I just want to give up," and I'm like, "That's not really what I want to teach my 6-year-old what to say." So like, there's just some vocabulary in there that like is just kind of above her level. But Glossica's
I'm
nice.
telling you, I wish we had like a separate Discord server like Refold Parents to like get
Yeah.
kids refolding. That would be cool.
Everybody petition.
I don't-
Yeah, I would.
I don't think
love
it would fit. I don't think it would fit into Refold Central.
No.
You know, I think it would be best served as like a walled garden for old people.
I love that. A retirement community for refolders,
Retirement
a 55 plus neighborhood where you have to be old and active to join. No youngsters allowed.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
But
Sounds like paradise.
So in addition to Glossica, though,
Yeah.
you have started. I keep calling it copywriting, and it's not copywriting. You guys are calling it.
Well, I
copy
do
work.
that. I'm doing copy work. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think okay, they're doing their copywriting, but that's not what copywriting means.
Yeah.
You're doing copy work, and you are
Yes.
essentially transcribing things, or are you copying them directly? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so what I've been doing is a lot of what I'm trying to do is train myself to like think of the language in chunks. I have a really easy time synthesizing it. I listen to things and I don't really have to exert a lot of effort if it's in one of my domains that I'm comfortable in. Understanding is automatic. But when it comes to output, I'm not one of those people who just like it naturally flows out of me. It's going to require a little bit of work, and that's fine. So one of the things that I've been doing to like prime myself is I'll read a passage like from a book, and then I'll write by hand like a page or two. It takes like 10-15 minutes, paying really careful attention to the grammar and the word choices, while at the same time trying to copy larger and larger chunks from memory. So at first when I started, I was copying every single word, looking at the spelling of each word. I wasn't sure it was going to come next. And what I've been trying to do is copy larger chunks. So instead of one word, 2 words, then 3 words, then 4 words, then like a phrase, and then a whole sentence. Depending on the sentence, I can do it. If it's a really long sentence, I couldn't even do it in English. But
You know, with really long sentences,
it's been
when I
good.
run into them, and I feel like I'm sentence mining. My advice is always like find the clause, like where there would be a comma, and just like nuke the rest of it, and not worry about memorizing long sentences. So I'm with you on that.
So like I just kind of like break it up into chunks that make sense, where the words they go together. Really focusing on things like prepositions, when to use the subjunctive, because the subjunctive is the devil. And it's been really helpful. And it's also, on a side note, I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus.
What type of
I can
ADHD
focus
do you have?
inattentive.
You have inattentive? Okay. I'm
Yeah, I'm
ADHD
inattentive.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically the
Yeah.
same person. We took a test and found out that we are essentially just clones of the same brain.
Yeah. I
Uh,
got my little Ritalins here, but
I'm all
I'm with you. But I'm all
natural.
natural. I am as well.
Yeah.
I have not had my Ritalin for like
Nothing
3
against
weeks.
medicine. I just can
It's
function without it,
okay.
and I
I hate the
prefer not to.
crash. I hate the crash, so I would rather just not.
Yeah.
You know.
I've learned how to function. I have like my external support systems that I have in place, but it helps me pay attention. So I found that with Spanish, because consuming media is really easy, but actually paying attention to the way that things are said, it's not as engaging as just what's going on, like what's the plot, enjoying the media. But there's a certain amount of needing to pay attention and really like internalize like how people are speaking that I have just completely glossed over because it didn't matter to me. But writing is really, pun intended, forcing my hand to pay attention to the minute grammar structures. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know how helpful it is.
What?
Like, ask me in a month.
I don't know how helpful it
and I'll
is
tell you.
either, but it's sort of spreading like a virus
I
among
love
the
it.
coaching clients.
Oh, it's a whole thing.
We actually had Nerdy from the Japanese server. He
Love Nerdy.
finished. He copied a whole book about copywriting.
He's
like
a
the
machine.
actual copywriting, doing his copy work. So he copied a whole sort of instructional book on how to be a better copywriter in Japanese.
Yeah.
And when we say copywriting, we mean copywriting like, this is what like the landing page is going to look like, and these things here, that sort of copywriting.
Yes.
So he did his copy work on a nonfiction copywriting book in Japanese, and he didn't translate. Sorry, he transcribed by hand the whole book.
I love that.
So
for him.
you've got people in all the alumni, all of the coaching clients, graduates, all of them are really into it. They like it.
It's a lot of fun.
People are enjoying it. People like it.
Here's
They
what
like
it is. It's extremely satisfying. So you get to practice your handwriting. Like, how often do you really have to handwrite things anymore? It's a fun excuse to get some nice stationery, get out your favorite pencil, write things down. It doesn't take that long. And even if it doesn't help me with, the whole thing. But even if it doesn't help me with output, it has helped me with mindfulness. So I will say that there is a benefit if you struggle with being in the moment and being mindful, or if you're having a hard time getting started reading something. Sometimes I'll really want to read, but I just read the same paragraph over and over again. And it's like, I've never read it. That happens in English too. This kind of gets the train going so that there's built up momentum. And then you can like stop copywriting like after a paragraph or two, and you're able to pay attention much more easily. So there is that immediate benefit if you struggle with paying attention, like I do.
What they need to do,
it helps a lot,
is we need an immersion app for ADHD people. And it puts Subway Surfer at the bottom or at the side of your immersion content, just like TikTok.
I hate how much I pay attention to those TikToks. Okay, like you have a good TikTok with some game footage.
Satisfying.
My little
I enjoy
monkey
it.
brain
They're
is
running around collecting the coins. I'm like, yes, coin number.
We should do that on the podcast and just have like someone playing a game, like
someone playing Subway Surfer.
Yeah, as we're talking. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. You recently had a blog, I think, that actually got some comments about being an ADHDer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that the one that we got some comments on?
Yeah. I think we got one comment exactly, but I also got some. It was a blog and an email, so I got a couple comments from email as well from people who had ADHD and stuff, and it resonated with them. So yeah, basically, I gave some tips. Check out the blog about how to focus and learn with immersion learning if you have ADHD, because I've noticed that my experience is different from people who don't have problems paying attention. So I've kind of had to break some rules, make my own strategies, and do that.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue I have is the executive function with the ADHD. I like being told what to do rather than trying to figure out what to do. And you're like, oh, that's weird. But what I mean is like, I did a deep clean on my condo. That way I could finally get rid of the blurred background and the fake background, because I kept getting feedback on it. People were like,
it looks really fresh.
Your head was being chopped off. And, you know, like Bree's head is right now. And, you know, it's like, sometimes it's like, where do you start? You're right. Like, first thing is do this, pick this up, put everything in the correct bin. You know, things like that, having it laid out step by step. I find that to be really beneficial. Because for me, as an adult ADHDer, I think the executive, I struggle with the executive function. You know, like being able to devise a plan and then start on the plan. More so than I do in attention. I think I've got the coping skills from being old, you know, 30 plus, right? But what tips did you give the fellow ADHDers? Because I'm guilty. I don't read the email.
That's okay. You did the blog.
I did the blog, but it was like in one eye, out the other, as it were.
Okay, so I know the truth. I don't remember everything that I put in there because I had to pare it down. So, like, there is a lot of things I didn't include because, like, I'm not going to write 1,000-page email. But I think what I remember.
I've seen some. I've seen some places that do these really big once-a-month emails. But that's okay.
I do a newsletter. That's really long, once a month. So the tips that I had were allow yourself to follow your interests. So a lot of times people with ADHD have that stereotype of changing their interest all the time, changing their hobbies all the time.
Oh, I feel called out.
Yeah, listen, so do I, because the roller skates that are collecting dust in my closet haven't been used in several years. And the crochet stuff that I have hasn't been used in several years. And let's not talk about the yoga mats. But anyway, learning any language is that you can follow your interests in your target language. So whatever suits my fancy. If I want to research like the sleeping patterns of some marsupial, or like Australia, or stoicism.
I was reading about Australian animals yesterday, no cap.
In Spanish?
Yeah. No.
See? Oh, come on, man. Do that in Spanish. You're not.
Yeah. Did you know that echidnas evolved from a platypus-like water-dwelling animal? So they became aquatic like platypuses, and then they became land dwellers again all over. Yeah, I learned that last night. No cap. I was reading about marsupials last night, about monitoring.
I'm so into this right now. I'm trying not to let myself get like down this rabbit trail because this is really interesting to me right now.
It was some sort of weird thing. Like I was reading about Papua New Guinea, and then I realized that there were a whole bunch of echidnas in Papua New Guinea. I was like, I thought they were only in Australia. But no, they're in New Guinea too. And then like, I went down this whole ADHD rabbit hole about echidnas and platypuses.
Yeah.
And
is it platypuses or platypi?
So platypus is not Latin. I think it comes from the Greek platypodus. Would be like the plural.
Because I know octopus is octopus. Octopi?
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. But you hear octopi, that's like faux Latin. I think platypus is Greek. So platypodes, I think, would be the plural. But realistically, no one is going to say platypodes.
I would never say that, ever.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's right.
So
it's wrong.
This is also a prime example of like just ADHD derailing.
Definitely trying.
Yes, I understand. So back on track, following your interests.
Yeah, so follow your interests, but do it in Spanish or whatever language you're learning. That's what I do. I research stuff. I've been on a stoicism kick. I'm off that kick. But when I was on the kick, I was researching YouTube channels. Yeah, well, she gave me a recommendation and I found the book in Spanish. And I actually need to start it back up. I just stopped because like people got sick, blah, 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 blah. And when I forget about something, it doesn't exist anymore. So I have to get back on that. Another tip that I had was procrastinate in your target language. A lot of times I'll have like a goal of like a self-imposed goal of, I really want to read a chapter of this book that I'm reading in Spanish today. But I can't seem to do it. So I'll procrastinate by watching YouTube in Spanish instead of doing that. And it feels wrong, but
I
it's
can get
actually moving me towards my goals anyway. So it's not that it's
I can
still
get
working, but it feels like procrastinating, you know? So
yeah, I can get on that. So one thing
yeah.
that we do with the coaching clients and former clients is we host a study group Monday through Friday.
hmm
And for the past 2 weeks,
Love
I
it.
have just not been Genki. I'll be honest. So I've
hmm
not. We have a book club that we're doing, and we're reading Momo, which is sort of like a novel from Germany. It's very famous, and
hmm
I was just having this block of like, I don't want to read. I don't want to do anything that takes brain power. So
hmm
for 30 minutes a day, I'm getting out a whole bunch, been
Yeah.
turning on Spanish and just watching videos of people eating snacks from
Right.
different countries and talking about
Those are
them.
the best. Yes.
And like, yeah, just like trash tier content because it's so easy. But my
Yes.
guilty pleasure is
Yeah.
I like short form videos. You ask me to watch 1 hour video, ask me to watch 60 1-minute videos, though. Now we're talking. And unlike with TikTok, YouTube
Yeah.
will give you Spanish content, right? TikTok
It's
has this
true.
weird thing where they go off of your IP and your SIM card, and
hmm
it's a pain in the butt to use.
It's hard to
TikTok for.
trick TikTok. TikTok's too smart. It knows that I'm not a native speaker. YouTube is so much easier to trick. And Instagram too is easier to trick as well.
Yeah, so I definitely can get behind going down a YouTube hole in your target language.
hmm YouTube holes, Wikipedia holes. There's so many holes. News holes. Any hole you
There's
can think
also
of.
Reddit.
That sounded wrong.
I have Reddit. I've got a couple of Spanish. So I'm bad.
Uh-huh.
My Reddit account is multilingual. It's got English, it's got Filipino, it's got Portuguese, and it's got Spanish. But I've got a couple sub, and I get them in my feed, and I'll
Yeah.
read about them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely easy. Something about social media, having it all in one place, low friction, and
Yeah.
turning that sort of time wasty proclivity
Yeah.
into something useful.
I'm trying to think of what the last tip that I had was in my email for people with ADHD. Doubling. I had doubling.
That's studying with a person.
That's studying with a person. There's actually like a service that you can like focus mate or something. But you can do that for free in Refold Central and just hop into a group study chat. And for some reason, having someone quietly in a group study chat with me, with nobody talking, really motivates me to pay attention. I don't know if it's like the social pressure or what, but even if it's like reading with my kid, like if we're both reading, I'm reading and she's reading, I'm able to focus much easier. Or if I'm like sitting in the same room with my husband when he's like gaming with his friends, I'll like curl up on like a chair in the room and do my Spanish stuff. There's just something about like having other people in the room that makes me not seek out doing other stuff. And it's magic. I don't know how it works. I haven't looked into it. I just know that it
One
works
of the
for me and so many
ADHD
other people.
magazines that I sometimes read talks about doubling and how it's an effective tactic.
Yeah.
And I can get behind it. I definitely, once a week on Wednesdays, you and I usually have an hour co-working session where we get together and we do a lot of content writing. So writing.
I would say it's like a silent. It's not like a silent meetup, but yeah. And I still get a lot done because like there's something about that community.
Oh yeah, I wrote 2 blog posts last time we did it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Today, as everybody's going to notice, I'm a little sleepy. I've got sleep apnea, and this guy came off and has just left. My eye bags have eye bags today, Bree. I am so tired.
Listen, you're holding up great. You're doing a great job. I had, on the other hand, way too much caffeine because my daughter, I mean, similarly, I haven't slept that much because she's sick. Haven't gotten a lot of sleep. So this is a totally hinged. We are so hinged right now. There's nothing unhinged about this podcast, but I don't have the CPAP machine, just a lack of brain cells. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about more things that's going on in the Refold community? Because there's like a lot more exciting stuff going on. Like I had a chunky newsletter.
What exciting stuff is going on?
The Spanish course launch.
The Spanish course launch. Okay.
That's
So
pretty exciting.
tell us about the course and then tell us about why the Spanish launch is cool.
Okay. So You might have heard about it if you've watched any of our videos. We have a Teach Yourself a Language course that kind of holds your hand for the first 30 days of learning a language. But what's cool about our course is that it doesn't just teach you this is how language learning works. It teaches you how to build habits and the discipline that you need to learn a language. Which if you have ADHD, great course to take. If you don't, great course to take. So it's a great course that kind of like holds your hand and breaks down everything that you need to do. And it removes all the like obstacles, right? Like we provide you with content, we provide you with assignments, we provide you with the place to ask any questions that you have. So there's tons of support from Refold staff. So we have this course and it's all in English.
Cool.
It's amazing.
One of my favorite
I'm not
things
just saying that. Like
of the homework activity, like you know how when you first start learning a language, just understanding or recognizing a single word is
yeah.
So I put together bingo cards of some of the most common words.
You did. That was you.
So
that's right.
Like, yeah. There are words like you and I, but then there's also like top 100 vocab as well. So you can sit down and mark off the words that you hear in your content. And that sort of helps you at that beginning stage when everything is incomprehensible.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty pleased with the course. We put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
And
it's really cool. I like it too because when you first start out language learning, you don't really know what success looks like. So, like, when you first start out immersion, you're like, I understand nothing. Is this right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And so things like the bingo sheet give you lots of opportunities to like celebrate those successes and actually see yourself progressing. And another cool thing, and then I'll stop. I sound like a shill, but like genuinely, I think it's a course.
You do sound like a shill. No, I'm actually
sorry.
quite pleased with it. I'm actually quite pleased with it. It was fun. There are definitely
I watched all the videos.
Though. I want to support MSA so bad, but I need things with soft subs. I've been struggling. So anyone in the community, if you are a speaker or a learner of modern standard Arabic, and you have some secret repository of things that have same language subtitles that are soft so that we can copy and paste or use a pop-up dictionary, come to me and share your Arabic resources because it's not easy to find MSA content that sort of fits what we're looking for. But I put a lot of work. I did the bingo cards.
Yeah, you're very picky about your content, and the bingo cards.
I did the content, and we got the support. The servers coming together. There are regulars who talk, and we're all active there. You, me, Ethan, Vanessa, Ben, everybody but Dawn, pretty much is active. So we love. I feel bad now. Now it sounds like we're shilling. We're just happy. Okay.
We're excited. It's fun.
We built it. It's our little baby. We built it and it's coming together, and that's nice. So, but
it's in Spanish now.
It was already kind of in Spanish, right? Where at least the videos were subtitled. But
the videos are subtitled. We have landing page completely in Spanish, so people know what they're getting into. Mr. Salas did a video, kind of like outlining like what the course is and announced that to his community. Was this the video
where he had all the bid memes?
I love them so much. They're so funny. It's like the Chad, like the Chad meme with like Ben's face like superimposed on it. It's so good.
Funny to me is I thought it was his video editor, but it turns out Mr. Salas is his own video editing. So it was him. Yeah.
Well, he has an editor, but I think he gave his editor the images specifically to use. I don't know the lore. I could be making that up. That's how I understand it. But it's exciting. Like kind of like on the vein of like, expanding the roadmap to German, having it be available in lots of different languages. It's just cool to see.
I would be very happy if I got people either emailing me, Clayton at refold.la or support at refold.la and saying, hey, I speak this language. How do I get started? And we use a crowdsourcing platform, Crowdin. Write me. I will hook you up, and let's get the Refold guide out there in other languages. One thing I would love to see happen is also getting our blog posts into Spanish.
I think we can make that happen.
The blog is kind of our thing. we
Sure.
care about the blog, so it's our thing. We write the posts. And,
The emails, though, that I've been writing, a lot of them
they get translated.
are being translated. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're giving Zdena lots and lots of work to do. Like, she's busy. But yeah, the blog would be awesome.
So I
That'd be a
hear
lot of
that
fun.
the V2 for the Spanish course is going to have
Mhm.
native Spanish audio, because right now it's still just subtitled. But at some point down the line, they're going to redo the videos all in Spanish.
That's pretty exciting. What else is exciting that happened this past month? We redid Refold onboarding. We have a whole email sequence now for people that are new to Refold. Like, we do a lot.
And we read
There's
them if you respond to them.
Yeah, we do. Every single one. Like, that's not an exaggeration. A lot of times you'll get emails to people like, please reply. I read them all. I do. I really do. We read them all. But there's a lot of stuff that Refold has, a lot of free resources, a lot of videos, a lot of events like this podcast or Q&A events and our community, tons of stuff.
Q&A
so that when you're
is
new,
going out tomorrow. That means that
Yeah.
it'll be out
well,
yesterday.
tomorrow,
By the
today.
time
Yeah.
people see the episode, yes.
Yes. So we have tons of stuff going on. It can be kind of difficult to know where to jump in and what to do and where to find resources. So we kind of broke down some of our favorite things that we offer to help people find them really easily in an onboarding email sequence that I wrote. And then it even gives you like a sneak preview of the course. So it gives a couple of the lessons that are available in the course and shows you some of the things that it offers. And those emails, they're not just like sales emails, but like they're really valuable. Like they give you very similar value as to what's in the course. So they're super helpful. So that's pretty exciting to make it easier for people who maybe aren't familiar with Refold. Because in the early days, the people that were using the website were people that were already familiar with us. So they already knew all of our resources and stuff. But now that there's more and more people discovering Refold and finding out about us, it's been really fun creating something to help people understand who we are, what we do, what we're all about, and how we can help them on their language learning journey.
You know, you are one of the few people who's been at Refold longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
You were there when Refold was a sort of secret splinter group from MIA.
Yeah.
And I joined Refold the day it went public.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting having seen the community and the company grow over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You know,
It's amazing. It's been amazing.
yeah,
And it's
been
really
very
fun. Like, I sound like such a shill, but it's just like so nice to work on like this fun thing with my friends. You know, like it's been awesome. And because like we're all so passionate about languages, like we all came from the community. We're all language learners.
I love how California the company is. You know what I mean? Like earlier today, it's like, guys, I didn't sleep well last night. I'm gonna go take a nap, and then they're okay with it. You know what I mean? Like,
as long as you get your work done, you know, you
as long
attend
as
your
you-
meetings, you
yeah,
get your work
but-
done, like whatever.
you know, forced vacations. Clayton, you're working too much. Go on vacation.
I was
You
forced
know,
on a vacation.
It's very nice because before Refold, I was working for a Japanese Kaiwa, and they were very Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
going from that to going to a company where it's like, take a nap in the middle of the day, like Ethan, because Ethan takes naps, and that's
Yeah.
fine. That's the culture.
They're
If you want to take a
power.
30-minute nap during your
Power.
shift, you can.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very fun. Very happy to see Refold grow.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's cool. So, but it's also really nice to share like what
And
we all know about
spoiler-
us with people who are new.
Spoiler, your comments have been heard. Okay, I now have a budget, and very soon I'm going to have a new tech setup. Okay,
I have that
I'm
in
going
the
to have
blog.
some better lighting. I'm going to have a better mic. It's all going to be better. So rest assured, loyal listeners, your comments have been heard. And
What kind of mic is it? Do you know?
I don't know. I would have to check my Notion.
Yeah. I know it's
yeah,
been
I would have to
approved,
check my
right? Because like he's a super audiophile.
It's been approved. So my first mic that I chose, he was like, "This is crappy." I'm like, I mean, is it? He's like, it needs to be over $100. It has to be a professional mic. And I'm like, okay. So I went back and I did some research. I'm going to be paying a little bit of a markup because of where I am, but it's like $120 mic. So it's going to be better than this.
Legit.
So
yeah, mine's $50.
Hopefully starting next week, we will have a better setup from me. Because
nice.
I think the past couple podcasts, that's what the comments have been. It's like good for commenting that, because when we get eyes on it, right? Ethan's like, okay, we gotta change this. We gotta improve it, and hopefully by next week we'll see the better setup.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
The intro is already amazing. I don't know if
the intro is great. I feel like an anime opening. It's like with me or like talking, and then it flashes to the other people talking. I don't know. It's really, I feel like I'm the main character.
You are the main character. It's your show.
And it's so weird. I didn't expect the podcast to be this thing. You remember, like it just started out as a
we were just chatting about Batman, dude.
Just chatting about Batman.
Chatting about Batman. Yeah, it's fun. It's
cool.
What you've done with the podcast is awesome. Like all the guests that you've been getting. This is one of the things in my newsletter, by the way, is like shilling how good of a job you've been doing on the podcast. I'm gonna make Clayton blush right now.
Yeah, I took a course on being a better interviewer.
Yeah.
So hopefully my future interviews are gonna be better. And
they've been great. I really enjoyed watching the Glossica one because I'm using it. And yeah, you've had a lot of pretty sweet
so
interviews.
I reach out to pretty much every guest. I think I've had in the past times since the podcast has been a thing, only 2 that were not done by me personally. Like I usually initiate the email and reach out and say, hey, I'm from Refold. This is who I am. This is what Refold is. Do you want to be a guest? And as an ADHDer, you know, we have rejection, sensitive, dysphoria, right? We take being told no really hard. So I had to overcome that. Because when I send an email, 3 things are going to happen. 1, they leave it unread. 2, they say yes. 3, they say no. And I had to learn to put myself out there and not be upset if people say no, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm pleased.
You've done a lot of awesome yeses. Like it's been awesome. You've been doing great. I really want to watch the intro now. That's like my ADHD brain is like, that's, speaking of ADHD, but speaking of other improvements that you've been doing, English game night in the English server.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So one thing I've noticed over the past couple weeks to months is I've been kind of absent. I'm the community manager. I'm supposed to be doing things and holding events. So I have been kind of depressed and not spending as much time in the community with everybody. So one thing that I'm doing is since I'm not really doing a whole bunch of language stuff right now, 30 minutes of Spanish a day is not a whole lot. I have decided to make Sundays a weekly English free talk night. So show up Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific time and talk with me and a couple of the other native speakers and just hang out. Last Sunday, I streamed some video games and we just chatted and had a whole bunch of fun. We had about 14 people show up, which is a decent amount for an event on Discord.
Yeah, it was like spur of the moment too, right?
Spur of the moment too, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this coming Sunday, I'm having a second event on Sunday as well. I'm going to be hosting a B movie. I don't know what it's going to be yet. And B as in B list, not B as in.
I love it. So it's like basically Mystery Science Theater 3000 Refold Edition.
Refold Edition, yes. So I'm going to be.
Don't sue us.
Don't sue us, please.
It's not our actual brand.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing a movie night this Sunday. See how it works. Maybe
that's
people
awesome.
Won't like it, but at least every Sunday going forward, yes, there's gonna be English.
And the movie's gonna be at 12 noon PST.
It's gonna be 12 noon. It's gonna be early.
Okay, and then after the movie at 2 p.m., there's gonna be the free talk sesh, open swim, if you will. That's pretty cool, and it's open to English native speakers and English learners. So even if you're not learning English, you going there will help.
I had a lot of fun last week. People are saying to me, they're like, "Hey, you taught me the word puff pastry and crawfish."
Like the 2 most common words of the English
language. They're learning
language.
all the important vocab from my rants about Louisiana food and things like this. So
You're gonna teach them all the weird, like obscure Claytonisms, like sleeping on a pallet. And what else do you say?
They're pallets. A pallet is something that you like lay on the floor, like you take a
A
blanket.
pallet is something you ship things with.
It's a different type of pallet.
The forklift moves it. I've never.
I call people goobers. That's a Claytonism.
That's a good word.
A goober is a peanut.
A goober.
For those of you who don't know.
Is it? I don't think I've ever eaten a goober. I'm not Southern enough.
Peanuts,
I'm like
peanuts are
barely.
goobers.
Are they? It's like a chocolate
Yeah.
covered peanut or like a dessert or
No,
something?
no. Goober just means peanut. It's just like another word for peanut.
No.
Yeah, it comes from one of the African languages. I can't remember which one. Nguba is one of the African word for peanut. It got borrowed into Southern English as goober.
I don't know why my whole life is turning upside down right now, but
yeah, but there's also like goober from like Schmuck's goober jelly. It's like jelly and peanut all together. That's maybe what you're thinking of.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really thinking of anything right now.
Word. Goofy goober. I'm a goofy goober.
I know like that. I know like calling someone a goober. Yeah. I didn't know that it was like a peanut. You're calling them I guess like a nut. You're a nut. Interesting.
It's literally a peanut, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, important.
Sorry, I'm having to like get over this.
No, but English night was really fun. I hope to do it again.
Yes.
And
you'll be doing that this Sunday, and then
this Sunday, and I've scheduled it for 3 Sundays out. So this Sunday and then 2 more Sundays. If people end up not liking it and we don't have as much success with it, yeah, that's okay.
No, it's in the newsletter, so you've got to do it at least until the newsletter goes out.
I want to do something with my English because I've been spending a lot of time in English for the past couple months. I put Swahili down. I've been doing minimal Spanish.
Wait, you want to do something with your English or your Spanish?
Well, no. So I want to use my time with the community, right? Like, because I've not been actively like,
yes,
really, really into like a language lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been just spending less time with the community. So this is a way to like reach back out and build those connections and hang out with, because I'm the community manager. I'm supposed to be doing stuff. So I started a podcast. Hi, I'm Clayton, the community manager. And then like, I've been like absent from the servers for like 2 months.
Listen, hi, I'm Clayton, professional podcaster, pro mic owner, soon to be pro mic owner.
Soon to
not
be.
A goofy goober who doesn't wear his CPAP.
That'll be fun. So definitely think of hosting your own events in your servers. Think about volunteering again to help translate, and reach out to us.
Yeah. And then what else? I think that's mostly what I have for my newsletter. So you haven't been doing much with Spanish or language learning lately, but I do know that you've been getting back into Spanish.
Yeah, I did an audiobook a couple weeks ago. Cada vez exquisito or whatever. And I've been watching her. I think she's like Luisito's ex, Ari Tesorio or something.
Okay.
She has like a lot of like videos, like she's in Miami and she's going to the Dollar Tree, and then like a lot of videos are like trying snacks from Cuba, trying snacks from Korea, that sort of stuff. It's just such good content for like being brain dead, like when you're tired.
Sometimes you just want to eat potato chips. Yeah,
it's a good junk food diet of Spanish. And then of course I do use Spanish every day, but my Spanish is so there's such formulaic responses. It's like
it's special. It's very specialized.
Thank you for the instructions. Thank you for the feedback. Here's your refund. This is what we advise. Check out our guide.
Right.
It's very formulaic and
right.
Yeah, it's different from the kind of diverse input and output you would have.
Yeah.
I put my Hello Talk in Spanish, but I'm not on Hello Talk. I
try.
Discord is really the only thing I do.
It's really hard being an introvert at the output stage, because I'll get really excited about Hello Talk and Tandem, and I'll go on and I'll have a great time. I'll talk to people, and usually they're really interesting. I put a really detailed bio about myself that's kind of out of the box. It lists all of my interests, all my nerdy ones. Like I'm into Doctor Who and Star Wars and anime and blah, blah, blah. And so I'll get people like messaging me that are interested in the same stuff. And so it's fun, But like, because I'm an introvert, I spend energy like talking to people that I'll like spend all that energy, and the next day like I have to recover and I don't want to talk to anybody, and it's really hard to keep that consistent. That's why I've really been enjoying the copy work, not because like I don't feel like it's gonna make me fluent, but it is like making me do something outside of myself every single day, and at least like flexing that muscle. But
have you seen the actual output curriculum that we run clients through?
maybe no, I
Yeah,
but
so
did the prototypes.
We've got a 5-week output program, and you should take a look at it if you've not, because a lot of those activities are meant for people like us who are introverted. So it's things like building a list of like small talk questions and then answering them in Spanish, like writing to yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
what type of coffee do you like? And what, sort of like small talk questions. That's like week 1. At some point we move on to journaling. So like longer form writing. Eventually.
Yeah, I'll do journaling. So I'll have like
So
ChatGPT give me prompts, and they're really
journaling,
interesting
and there's
ones.
also like content summaries and stuff like that. And we also recommend monologuing. So you're talking about like Mystery Science 3000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Same deal, but by yourself, right? Like imagine that you're monologuing. And I mean, our output curriculum that we've got clients doing is designed assuming that once a week you'll meet with a tutor, but the rest of the time you're practicing on your own. So
yeah, that's like good activities.
You should
I do a
definitely
lot of
consider
them.
it.
I remember I was part of like the prototype discussions. So I was a guinea pig for a lot of the stuff. And some of the activities really jive with, some of them I didn't.
So Vanessa ran you through that.
Yeah, kind of. Like I was before there was like an official curriculum, but like we were all experimenting and trying different stuff like as a team, and we would get together and talk about what worked for us and what didn't work for us. But I haven't read like the actual curriculum. I would like to read it though. Definitely do send it to me because I'm curious what it says. But yeah, one of my favorite activities though on that list is kind of similar, where I'll talk to ChatGPT. I don't like the small talk stuff. That bores me. I'm pretty good at small talk. I do a lot of it on Hello Talk. It's like the first 15-20 minutes are all like the same conversation. But I'll have ChatGPT like ask me crazy philosophical questions, like, do you think that technology is going to ruin children's minds in 30 years? And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to write about this, and I'll reply back to it. So I'll do that too. I'll do that too.
That's a hot take though. That is a hot take.
ChatGPT is asking like existential questions about itself to me. I'm like, what are you trying to get from this? Do you fear that AI will ruin the future of work? Like it had like some crazy question, and then it kept asking me follow-up questions about it, and I'm like, this is getting kind of weird. Can we change the topic to something else? But it's fun for me with ADHD. I like the more novel questions than just like, what do you do? What do you like? Like,
yeah, I like novelty too.
How to small talk in English.
And actually,
I'm not supposed to do that in Spanish.
That's one of the things that we ask when we onboard a new client. We go through this questionnaire and we get information. And one of the final questions we ask is, we don't say, do you like novel things? We say, how do you feel about rewatching or revisiting content?
See, to me, that's different. I'll rewatch stuff. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's like an indirect way of saying if they like novelty or if they're going to need a whole bunch of support finding new content, all the time. Because some people, they really enjoy, especially at the beginning, they'll go through a video interactive and then they'll watch it again next week or next day, free flow. Like, but I personally could not do that. I like the novelty. I want a new story every day. Which is why I vibe really well with short story collections or omnibuses or whatever you want to call them. Because you read a short story, you're done, boom, on to the next one. A lot of what I've read, a lot of my reading has been short stories.
Yeah, I could see that. I need to have a bunch of different books going at the same time. Kind of like people will flip, back in the old days when we had remotes with numbers on them, we would flip through the channels. Just
do remotes not have numbers anymore?
Surfing. They do, but like, come on, you've got like the Hulu button, the Disney Plus button. There's no like scrolling through the list of shows like we used to do. Gosh, that's I feel like I'm dating myself. Anyway,
You can see where the TV in my condo is supposed to be. I don't have a TV, but you can see the wall bracket.
oh, you could put like, if you hung one up, like you could put something really cool there, have like a really cool background. That's my vote.
Well, it's like a TV,
Everybody
bro. I
riot.
don't have a TV. That's my point. I've not had a TV in like 7 years.
Let's riot.
So like I was
and
like,
get George a
I was like,
TV.
man, the remote. So I was imagining like a touchscreen remote. Is what I was imagining. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing.
No, but like, you know, like you would scroll like the up button on the chat, just like looking for something to watch that caught your attention. I kind of do that
Channel
with
surfing.
books. Yeah, channel surfing. I like book surf. So I have like, right now I've got 2 audiobooks that I'm listening to, 2 books that I'm reading, and like a comic. So, and I'll rotate whatever
So
I'm
you've got
feeling.
4 books essentially and 1 comic.
Yeah.
That
So-
sounds ADHD.
And it works for me, okay? Because I've always got something to do. And if I'm bored, I also get to emotionally invested in the characters. Like, and when they stress me out and they make a bad decision, I'm sorry. I can't deal with them. I have to move on to something else.
I do not think I
Cool
could keep
down.
up with 5 different pieces of media with 5 different stories. I don't think I could do
Do
it.
you watch 5 different TV shows at once? Or do you watch like 60 shorts in an hour?
Well, yeah, I don't get invested in the shorts.
Mm.
And when I watch a TV show, I very rarely do. I tend to binge it. Like I'll watch a whole season in like 2 days. Like when I watched, what was it, Pasión de Gavilanes or whatever. It's like a soap opera from Colombia. I binged like all 200 episodes in like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my style. So like I go all in. I don't try and keep up with like the love triangles and like 5 different telenovelas all at once because that would be too much.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. That's a lot to put up with. But I don't know. I like the novelty of having different pieces of content, but at the same time, I have no problem reading something one day and then listening to it. And I'm actually about to write an email about this, and then listen to the audiobook after having read it. I don't have any issues with that because it's kind of like hanging out with an old friend. That's kind of what it feels like to me. So you can't do that?
I don't think I could.
That's sad.
I took a memory test thing recently, and I actually scored 1 point below average. So
I mean,
it's
you're
something
still
called
the
like,
standard distribution, right?
it's something called like the number something test, number sequence test, and they give you this is a psychological test. They give you a number,
I
and then
don't
they
want
give
to
you
take
like
it. I
1
don't want to
digit,
know.
2 digits, 3 digits. The average person can remember up to 7 digits before they start making mistakes.
I don't think I could do
got
that.
6 digits, and
Okay.
then I failed at number 7. So I'm like slightly below average. If
Mhm.
7 is the average. It's like
I
an
don't want to
actual
take this
psychological
test.
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Yeah, apparently, like first-rate, like psychologist offices and stuff will give you the test because it's a way of checking like
Mhm.
your functioning. You know, like if somebody's only getting 3, it's like okay, there's a big problem here.
Right.
So, yeah. So
I
took
could
it
do
on a whim.
4.
I'm like,
I could do 5.
you might surprise yourself.
Six?
I got 6. I got 6.
Okay, send me the test. If it's a bad score, I won't share it though.
I will send you the test.
I'm scared.
We like taking tests at Refold.
We really do.
Dude, we've got vocab tests. I wanted to talk about them, and we've not talked about them. I don't think I've ever mentioned them on the podcast, but that's another
Let's
thing
do
that we've
it.
done. Is we've got vocab
Let's do it.
tests. Put it
Get
in the
vocab
link
tests.
below, Bree. Put the vocab tests. They're out. They
I don't know if we
exist.
still have the Spanish one. I think did we recall that one to work on it more?
No. We've got the Spanish, French, and Japanese.
Okay. I don't know if the
We
Spanish
did
and
wanna
French though are
iterate.
public.
There are fake words, and we were going to make more fake words and make them even harder.
Okay.
So that was like for the V2, but the V1 is out.
We will post all publicly facing tests in the gosh, there's a lot for me to remember for the description of this video. Speaking of remembering stuff. Is it more than
Okay,
60?
Bree. You know what time it is. What is your parting advice for language learners?
Parting advice. Don't compare your progress to other people
I agree.
because you'll just feel bad.
Bree, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
And going forward, guys, we're going to be doing more of these, sort of episodes with Bree. Please send us topics that you would like for us to talk about. And we're probably going to do 1 or 2 a month, just to give me a little bit of slack when it comes to finding new and interesting guests. And it's fun. We like it. It's fun. It's enjoyable for us.
I love being on the podcast. It's a lot of fun.
So please write us, leave some comments, hit us up on Discord. Our DMs are always open. And I will see you guys next week. Bye. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Refold Podcast. If you're watching the live premiere, you're in luck. Right as it ends, we have an after party over on the Refold Central Discord server. Come join us by using refold.link/join and chat about the episode. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to hear more, you can find older episodes to listen to on YouTube and Spotify. Let us know what you thought about the video by liking and leaving a comment below. Do you have suggestions for upcoming visitors or requests for particular topics? Please feel free to reach out to me on Discord at GeorgePig #5413 or via email at clayton@refold.la. Thank you all for watching and or listening, and I'll see you next week.
Hey, as you know, there's a lot of language learning advice out there, which can make it kind of overwhelming and difficult to actually get going on your own learning. If you feel like you're struggling to figure out language learning, you're not alone. It's an extremely complicated process with tons of different steps. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide to create the perfect language learning routine for you, then you have to check out our new course. We spent thousands of hours designing a simple and straightforward process that you can use to create your own personalized language routine that actually works. We understand that every learner is different and that you have to roll with the punches and adapt. Every day for 30 days, I walk you through everything you need to know to build an effective learning routine, no matter your circumstances. We give you the advice and resources you need to ensure your success, so you don't have to waste time looking for stuff to do and can focus on learning. And if any questions do come up, don't worry. We are always there to answer any questions and clear up confusion. And it's all backed by our 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If, for whatever reason, something's not quite working for you, we insist you get every penny back. It's time for you to stop wishing that you could learn a second language. It's time to become the master of your language learning journey. Check out the link below to get instant access and start your journey today.